Hey, what's going on, everyone? Hope all of you are doing well. Want to welcome you all to the channel and to another movie review. Now, I was originally going to review the remake to A Nightmare on Elm Street until I realized I already did a review. I did it last year. I did it last year. It was part of my Halloween horror. So I went ahead and added it to the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise uh, review playlist. So that will have all the reviews that I've done. So yeah, that's pretty much the last one I needed to do. Now I will not be reviewing Freddy vs. Jason, and at least until I can revisit the Friday the 13th films, which unfortunately I had the first movie in my collection but got rid of it because I do eventually plan to get the nice, really nice looking Scream Factory box set in the future. So for the time being, I will not be reviewing Freddy vs. Jason. So now we're going to move on to a lighter tone. I won't be reviewing any horror films from now, at least until October 1st, because October 1st will, of course, start off year 2 for my Halloween horror. So I wanted to go more towards the Disney route when it comes to, I would guess you could say, kid horror. Um, and I had done a review for Phantom of the Megaplex, and I did a review for Don't Look Under the Bed. And today I'm going to be doing a review for, I would say, one of my personal favorites. This is a movie that has a really huge following. There's a lot of people out there that love this movie. And unfortunately, the DVD for this movie is out of print. I'm not 100% sure on how much it goes for. My guess would be around between 20 to 50. That's just kind of what I'm throwing out there. I didn't realize that when I used to have the DVD, and I ended up regretted selling it. But I'm going to be reviewing Under Wraps. Under Wraps is such a fun movie. You have these three kids who basically have to take this mummy that has come back to life and reunite him with his love before I think like midnight on Halloween, so he can rest. Uh, Throughout this process, they deal with a lot of things that are going on, and there's this one specific neighbor who you find out is apparently this, I guess he's doing like this crime stuff with antiques and artifacts and things like that. And they got to try to stop him from taking the mummy that they're trying to get to reunite with his loved one. The plot is a little cheesy, but it's entertaining. It really is. Now, I will state one of the guys in this movie that helps the kids. He is in the TV series Malcolm in the Middle. He is well known for playing Lois's coworker. He's got one of those familiar faces, so I know he's been in a lot of other things. But I do believe he did this movie before that. I think this one came out like 97, and then I think Malcolm in the Middle wouldn't premiere until 98, I believe. So I think he would have gone on to do, sorry about the glare, he would go on to do Malcolm in the Middle not too long after this film. Now, the actors who play the kids, at least the two boys, are recognizable. I know they've done other things, but I don't know if they act anymore. I know a lot of times with these child actors, they'll do a few things throughout their career, uh, you know, up until maybe their teens or as they become a young adult, and then they'll decide to pursue other things. Now, the actress who plays the girl, who's friends with them, she actually, I believe, went on to go become a lawyer. I know when the Under Wraps remake was coming out that Disney ended up doing. Why it needed a remake is beyond me. I can get certain films having remakes, but there's other films I just feel like don't really need that remake. But I still haven't seen the remake, so my opinion. I don't really have an opinion on that other than why did we need a remake. I mean, that means what, we're gonna get a Brink motocross. You know, they're gonna start remaking all the other Disney movie or Disney Channel original movies that we got over the years. But like I said, I know she became a big time lawyer during the time of the remake. She was actually being interviewed, and the interview is really good. I think you can watch it here on YouTube. And she talks about, you know, the filming and everything like that. So it was pretty nice. Um, I will say this. Excuse me. They do have the cliche personalities. Your main lead, he's the horror buff. You know, nothing scares him. His friend is the nerd who, you know, half the time doesn't want to do the stuff that they're doing. Excuse me. Had some coffee and it just wants to keep making me burp. His friend's the nerd type. You know, he's afraid of everything. A lot of things sound like a bad idea. And then the girl is, you know, the tough nails, sarcastic, can be an ass at times. So it's those cliche personalities that you see in a lot of films. But it worked. The chemistry between everybody was really good. It was believable. You could relate to it. I mean, you could relate to each personality. I mean, I'm sure we were all like that and had friends like that when we were growing up. I would love to see this movie get like a Blu-ray release, Disney Channel, or not Disney Channel, a movie club exclusive. See, this is where I think they should start doing this, and I really want to contact Disney. If they've had a success of releasing a lot of those, you know, live action films like Blank Check, The Mighty Ducks, Rocket Man, Cool Runnings, if they've had success of putting those on Blu-ray, which people are buying, well, then let's do Disney Channel original movies next. You know, start off with like Brink, Under Wraps, you know, start off with the early stuff, and then keep, you know, like each year. I mean, that would be cool. I think it would. I mean, I'm sure they still have the camera negatives, so they really could clean it up and make it look really nice on Blu-ray. And, you know, give us some special features. I'm really hoping that with, you know, Disney shutting down a lot of their, you know, they shut down the Disney Movie Club in Australia. I think I also heard that they stopped selling physical media, Disney physical media in Australia. So to me, if they're gonna stop doing that and just more focus on, like, say here, you know, in the United States or even Canada, then they really need to consider releasing these type of films on Blu-ray. You know, they released Wally under the Criterion Collection, and since then we haven't really seen anything else, and that's selling. People are buying it. So I'm kind of hoping that maybe down the road some of these could hit a Criterion release. I know it sounds crazy, but who knows at this point. Um, but yeah, Under Wraps is definitely a film, like I said, we can relate to. Has it aged well? To an extent, I feel like maybe the atmosphere, you know, has, you know, it's 90s, so maybe it doesn't hold up as much, but I think the chemistry between the characters, I think, holds up very, very well because it's relatable, and I think that's what makes it work. Now the main guy, like the neighbor who's kind of like the villain, he's the one that's, you know, kind of doing the crime with all the antiques and stuff. Don't quote me on this, but I believe it's the same actor who plays the guy in charge of the theater in Phantom of the Megaplex, and I believe he's also the costume store owner in Goosebumps: The Haunted Mask. I do believe it's the same actor. Do not quote me on that. If it's not, then they all look alike. But part of me thinks that that's what it is. But nonetheless, Under Wraps is such a fun movie, and it's a shame that we only got a DVD release of it and that it's out of print. But I definitely have loved this one, you know, over the years. It's a personal favorite of mine, and it has grown a following. Like, there are so many people who love this movie, and I think a lot, like I said, I think a lot has to deal with the fact that it is relatable when between the friends, you know, and the personalities and things like that. And yeah, I wish I could say more. I do want to point this out: the main lead, like the main boy, who's the horror fanatic, some of the horror stuff he has in his room in this movie are amazing. It makes you wish you had that in your room. But yeah, it's a fun movie. You know, always enjoyed it, and I would love to hear your guys' opinion on Under Wraps. You know, what memories do you have watching this one? Is it one of your all-time favorites? Definitely let me know down below, and don't forget to give this video a like, subscribe to the channel. It would be much appreciated. Our goal right now is to increase our watch hours so we can eventually be monetized. um, and yeah, I didn't do a video yesterday. I actually took a break. Wasn't really feeling all that great. I will be doing another life update video pretty soon for you guys. There's a lot more that's going on, unfortunately, and yeah, it kind of sucks. But nonetheless, with that being said, thank you guys so much for tuning in. And I am Film Talk with Mikey. And until next time, guys, we'll talk films.